So story time, my neighbor cheated on his wife with me. Not a proud moment. Okay, so a little background information. I was 18 and it was the summer before I started college, and we are going to call my neighbor Robbie. Robbie and his wife have lived next to my family and I for as long as I can remember, and they've always been super good to me, and they've always treated me like I was their own, to be honest. But whenever I turned 4, Ashley, which is his wife, was having a lot of issues trying to get pregnant. She was going through all these fertility treatments and nothing was working. Like, I remember her coming over almost every night of the week for 2 months straight, crying to my mom about how she wanted a baby. She was jealous of my mom, but not like in a like mean jealous way. It's just like in a jealous way of like, oh my gosh, like I want what she has, not I'm gonna steal what she has because I don't like her. No, not that way. So then my mom had suggested that they adopt, right? Which sounds like the logical explanation whenever you can't have kids. But Robbie said that he would never go for that. Mainly because if it wasn't from him, he did not want it. He said that he would rather fuck someone else and have a baby that way, so that way it could at least be his. He didn't care if it was Ashley's or not. Why? Because men are pigs. Anyways, which he's honestly a dick for that, because since he didn't want to adopt, she obviously respected him, you know, so she just still couldn't have kids, but she just never looked further into adopting because of him. Honestly, that is so rude. So like I said, Robbie and Ashley were like my second parents, right? They had taken me to Disney World way more times than I can count on both hands. They would watch me whenever my parents went out of town, or even if I just wanted to spend the night at their house, I would just spend the night over there. And they spoiled the hell out of me. Because say I wanted to have a sleepover with all my friends, right? And my mom said no. All I would have to do is call up Ashley and be like, yeah, no, I really want to have a sleepover with all my friends, but my mom said that I can't do it here tonight because my dad's working. And she would be like, okay, well, you know, I'll talk to your mom and you and your friends can come over here tonight. I loved it. So fast forward a little bit, around the time that I was 7 years old, Ashley and Robbie had came over to my house to talk to my parents the one night, and they had come up with this idea, right? And they were talking about this while I was supposed to be asleep upstairs in my room, but I was not. Besides the point, we're gonna call my mom Mary, okay? They were like, Mary, we just love your daughter so, so much, and we really just want a kid of our own. At this point, the conversation's getting a little bit weird. And my mom's like, okay, what does that have to do with my daughter? And they were like, well, we wanted to know if you would have a baby with Robbie. What the fuck? You know, I could not imagine being in their shoes and having like a conversation with someone like this. Like, first of all, it's probably very intimidating and very uncomfortable. And to be on the other end of the conversation, you're probably like, get these people out of my fucking house. Anyways, back to the story. Now, that wasn't exactly how the conversation went down because I was only like 6 or 7 years old. But to sum it up, that's pretty much what it was about. And my mom and dad were like super weirded out, and they told Robbie and Ashley that they would think about it. But as soon as they left, my mom and my dad got into a huge argument over this. Because my mom, being the sweet, nurturing person that she is, she's like, well, I feel really bad, you know, like, Ashley really wants a baby. She gets along with me so well. I just don't know what to do. Like, they would be such good parents. And my dad was like, yeah, that's great. Like, that is amazing. You know, they're really good second parents to our kid, you know, but I will not have you carrying around another man's child in our marriage. So my mom had to break the news to them, okay? And I remember because she had Ashley over, Robbie was like on a business trip or whatever. And she's like, yeah, you know, my husband just isn't feeling it. He's really not. She's like, I tried to talk him into it, but I'm so sorry, Ashley. And Ashley's like fucking bawling her eyes out, you know, crying. And she was like, I just wish that, you know, he knew how we felt, you know, blah, 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 blah. And my mom was like, listen, he knows how you feel, but I have to respect his wishes. So after that, Ashley didn't really come around for a little bit. I don't think it was because she was mad at my mom. I think it was more because she was embarrassed. and everything just felt really awkward after that. But things started to get really depressing with them because they weren't taking care of their house anymore, their yard. Like usually they were like the first ones to have everything ready for the summer, you know, like decorations out, yard completely mowed, flowers planted everywhere. But now it literally looked like an abandoned house with grass that was like all the way up to the freaking mailbox. And every time that we saw Ashley, she was in her pajamas, just looked like she hadn't had a shower in weeks, you know, really depressive episode. But you know what, it really hurt my mom seeing them like this. So eventually her and my dad went over to their house and talked to them and pretty much like tried to pull them out of this depression that they were in, because nobody deserves to live like that. First of all, I want to blame this all on fucking Robbie, okay? Let your wife, just let her have a kid. Let her adopt. Like, why do you gotta be a dick? Huh? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm blaming Robbie. But like I said, my parents went over there, they talked to them, and, you know, they tried to cheer them up about everything and pull them out of this little depression that they were in. And, you know, it took a few weeks of encouragement from my parents, you know, like my parents literally forcing them to call landscapers, you know, for the house. My mom taking Ashley to go grocery shopping because they'd been ordering takeout for like the past 4 months. But eventually they were back to their old selves, period. But fast forward, now I am 14 years old, right? And I am no longer interested in toys and video games. Now I'm more interested in boys, clothes, shoes, jewelry. And my parents did not have money like that. Like, sure, we lived in a really nice neighborhood and, you know, we had a nice house, but it was one of those situations where, you know, we could afford the nice house, but we couldn't afford the nice things to go with it. But Ashley and Robbie, on the other hand, Robbie's parents had a ton of money, okay? Like, they were loaded, but they had passed away in a car accident, I think maybe 2 years before I was born, and Robbie inherited a ton of money because he was also their only son. So anytime that I would go over to their house, it would always be, hey, do you want to go shopping? You know, do we want to go do this? Do we want to go do that? And my mom did have a problem with this at first. She was like, listen, Ashley, like, you can't keep buying her all this stuff. Like, I don't have the money to pay you back. Like, we're struggling. And after like 2 years of Ashley doing this though, my mom told her, listen, like, you can take her to go and do this stuff, but I can't pay you back. And I just want you to know that. So I pretty much got whatever I wanted. Like before school, you know, she would take me school clothes shopping, like school clothes shopping. And we would go and get our hair done, our nails done, you know. We would go on many back to school vacations. And my parents were completely fine with this. Like they actually did not give a fuck, which I was surprised about. All right, so I think at this point, you guys get the vibes. They're like my second parents. Okay, and if you didn't get that vibe yet, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, anytime that I needed Ashley, she was always there. Like, she would come to my soccer games that my parents couldn't go to. My parents never went to any of my school plays, but guess who was there? Robbie and Ashley. Anyways, you guys get the gist, okay? Well, literally since my first day of my senior year in high school, I have been talking about wanting to go on a trip before I start college. And my parents were like, we don't think you need to do that. So what do? Obviously, I tell Robbie and Ashley about it. Also, my birthday was in the summer, so like this worked perfectly for a birthday trip slash going to college trip. And listen, I barely had any freaking friends right now, okay? But after my senior year, a whole bunch of drama went down, and of course it was the last month of school and I was in the middle of it. So now I'm going to a college where I have no friends, and I have no friends to possibly bring on this trip with me. But here's another issue. My parents are going up to Michigan to visit my sick aunt, great aunt, who's literally 94. And Ashley was going to visit her sister because her sister is also having fertility issues right now. So everybody was gonna be at my party. It's just that after my party, everybody was gonna be poof, gone. So fast forward to my birthday party. Ashley and Robbie obviously got me a ton of gifts for my birthday. They always go all out, always. And my parents gave me a check to help pay off some of my tuition. And you know, we had my birthday party at Ashley's house, so we were about to leave and go home. when Ashley and Robbie surprised me with one more present. So they hand me this like little printed out laminated packet, okay? And it says, happy birthday, so proud of you for all that you've accomplished and for the many more accomplishments you are going to have in the future, or something like that, okay? And then I turn the page and it says, we hope you have fun in the Bahamas. Sincerely, Ashley, Mom, and Dad. So I'm like fucking ecstatic, okay? But then I was like, wait a second, who's the other ticket for? Because first of all, they all knew that I didn't have no friends, okay? Because I kept them up to date on all the tea. They knew that I didn't have no fucking boyfriend. Well, Ashley and my parents are like, well, we're all gonna be out of town, so Robbie decided that he would stay back and he would take you to the Bahamas since you also have no friends. Here's my thing, nobody thought this was weird, okay? Because like I said, they were literally like my second parents. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I need to pack. I don't have anything to wear. What the fuck? And Robbie's like, don't worry. Tomorrow we're going to go shopping. You know, you're going to get some new outfits. And then you'll spend the night here and we will head to the airport at 4 in the morning. So fast forward to the next day. My parents gone. Ashley's gone. So I meet Robbie at the car and we head to the mall. Which I'm not gonna lie, this was a little bit weird because usually when we would go to the mall, it would be Ashley and I going into all the stores and then it would be Robbie just walking around the mall and then we would call him whenever we needed him to pay for all of our shit. So I literally just expected him to be running around, you know, the mall while I shopped, you know, and then I would call him and be like, hey, you know, like, ran up a $2,000 tab, come in here and please pay it.